"Sir, this line is for official business." One officer sneered from behind the counter, eyes barely glancing up from his phone. The man nodded softly. "I understand. I just need to file a report." The officer smirked. "And what's the report about?" "Someone stole your cardboard box." The others laughed. What none of them knew, not a single one, was that the man they were mocking was one of the most powerful investors in the city. And by nightfall, those same officers would be standing guard outside his mansion. If you've ever been judged by how you look, or dismissed because someone assumed your worth, this story will hit hard. Because what happened that day didn't just expose ignorance. It taught everyone in that station a lesson they would never forget. It was raining that morning when Ethan Cole walked into the downtown police station. His coat was soaked through, his shoes squeaked with every step, and his gray beanie clung to his head like an afterthought. No one noticed him at first. They never did. Ethan looked around the lobby. Polished tiles, a few tired civilians filling out paperwork, and officers chatting behind the glass partition. He hesitated before approaching the counter. "Excuse me," he said politely. "I need to speak to someone about a theft." The desk sergeant, a broad man named Officer Dalton, looked him over slowly, scanning him from head to toe. His tone dripped with judgment. "And what exactly did someone steal from you?" Ethan smiled faintly. "Just something important." Dalton leaned back in his chair, sharing a smirk with his colleague, Officer Mills. "Let me guess, loose change? Maybe an old shopping cart." Laughter echoed. Ethan didn't react. He simply nodded, unfazed. "I'd like to file a report, please." Dalton sighed exaggeratedly. "Fine. Fill this out." He slid a clipboard across the counter without even looking. "But just so you know, false reports are a criminal offense." "I understand," Ethan said quietly. He took the clipboard and began writing carefully, his handwriting clean, measured, precise. Mills squinted at the paper. "Look at that. The man's got better penmanship than my sergeant." More laughter. They didn't know he'd once signed contracts worth millions with that same steady hand. While Ethan filled the form, an officer walking by whispered, "He's one of those regulars. Comes in every few months, claims something's missing. Probably just lonely." Dalton shrugged. "They always have a story." When Ethan returned the form, Dalton barely skimmed it. "Wait, are you saying someone stole a car?" "You? What car, buddy?" Ethan looked him dead in the eye. "A black Mercedes S-Class, parked near Grand Avenue. License plate E. Cole 1. Dalton scoffed. "Right, and I'm the mayor." But something about the man's tone, calm, matter-of-fact, with zero hesitation, made Mills frown. "Hold up," he said, pulling up the registry. He typed in the plate number. The result flashed on the screen. Registered owner, Ethan J. Cole. Address, 17 Crestwood Lane. Dalton froze. His smirk faltered for a split second before returning. "So, what, you borrowed the car from a rich guy with your same name?" Ethan didn't respond. He just looked tired. "Listen," Dalton said, pushing the paper away. "We'll look into it, but don't expect miracles. Grand Avenue's rough, cars disappear all the time. Maybe stick to buses." "Huh." Ethan gave a slow nod, then turned to leave. As he walked toward the door, he paused. "You might want to be a little more careful about who you laugh at." Dalton rolled his eyes. "Yeah, sure thing, pal." He didn't notice the security camera blinking quietly above the counter, recording every sneer, every word. 2 hours later, a call came into the station. A major theft investigation, high-profile victim, was being taken over by the department's Internal Affairs and Financial Crimes Unit. Dalton frowned. "Wait, financial crimes? For what? A stolen car?" The lieutenant's voice was curt. "The car belongs to Ethan Cole. You might have heard of him, CEO of Cole Ventures. He's pressing charges for harassment and misconduct." Dalton's face went pale. "Sir, The lieutenant cut him off. "And he's coming back this afternoon with the commissioner. Prepare yourselves." When Ethan returned, the lobby looked different. Officers straightened up. Chairs were fixed. The laughter was gone. Ethan was no longer wearing the soaked beanie and wrinkled coat. Instead, he stepped through the doors in a tailored navy suit, his posture straight, his voice calm but commanding. Dalton's mouth opened, but no words came out. "Good afternoon, officers," Ethan said. "I'm here to finalize my report." The commissioner himself trailed behind him. "Mr. Cole, thank you for your cooperation," Dalton stammered. "And Mr. Cole, I didn't realize." Ethan raised a hand gently. "No, you didn't. That's the point." The commissioner's tone was icy. "I've reviewed the footage from earlier today. Completely unacceptable behavior. This station represents the city, not your ego." Dalton's face burned red. Mills looked ready to disappear. Ethan turned slightly, looking around the room. "When I walked in this morning, I wasn't looking for trouble. I just wanted help. What I got was judgment, dismissal, humiliation." He let the words hang. "Now imagine if I truly had been homeless. What would you have done then?" No one spoke. By evening, the news had spread across the city. Local businessman tests police station. Exposes bias in viral video. Yes, the footage had leaked. Not from Ethan, but from someone inside internal affairs who thought the public deserved to see it. The internet was on fire. People shared clips of Dalton mocking him, the cruel laughter, the way Ethan stood calm through it all. Comments flooded in. The way he carried himself, pure class. They laughed at a millionaire like he was trash. "This is why you treat everyone with respect." The department released a statement of apology. Dalton and Mills were suspended pending review. But Ethan? He didn't gloat. Instead, the next morning, he sent an anonymous donation, enough money to renovate the entire lobby of the station and fund empathy training for every officer. The plaque above the new reception desk read, "For every person who was ever judged before being heard. EC." And that same night, 2 patrol cars pulled up outside a mansion in the Crestwood Hills neighborhood. Inside the gated driveway, Ethan stepped out of his Mercedes, the same one they doubted even existed. Dalton and Mills stood guard at the gate, newly reassigned to community service. Dalton swallowed hard. "Evening, Mr. Cole." Ethan gave a calm nod. "Evening, officers. Thank you for keeping the neighborhood safe." Then, before walking inside, he paused. "Just remember, what we see isn't always what's true. Have a good night." We live in a world where people are often judged by the clothes they wear, the way they speak, or their appearance. But sometimes, the quietest person in the room carries the loudest truth. Ethan never set out to embarrass anyone. He just wanted to show the power of humility and the danger of assumptions. So next time you see someone and think you know their story, pause. You might just be looking at someone who could change your life. If you enjoyed this story and believe in treating everyone with respect, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because more stories like this are coming, stories that remind us that character is the real currency of the world.